Hello, true crime enthusiasts. Welcome back to another gripping episode of Serene Suspense. I'm your host, Stephanie, and today we delve into a chilling case that will send shivers down your spine. Before we jump into the story, make sure to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe to stay updated on our intriguing true crime narratives. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's dive into the unsettling tale of Annabella Dukes and the haunting events that unfolded in the heart of New Mexico. The arrest of 18-year-old Annabella Dukes in connection with the shooting murder of Elias Otero in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in February 2021 is a worrying development that adds further intricacy to an already troubling case. On Monday, Albuquerque police reported the arrest of a second suspect in the horrific kidnapping and murder of former corrections officer Elias Otero. The chilling criminal story starts with an online exchange between Annabella Dukes and Elias Otero's younger brother. In a red Lexus, the unwitting younger brother picked up Dukes on February 11, 2021, according to investigators' accounts. The two had met online. Dukes, together with two other conspirators, one of them was 17 years old, and named Adrian Avila, had planned this meeting all along, unbeknownst to him, as the suspects pulled the victim from his red Lexus and demanded money, jewels, and a pistol. The situation swiftly became worse. Holding the victim at gunpoint, the armed and obviously vicious thugs dragged him into the Lexus and another car. Going to the victim's house was part of their evil scheme. It was the first step in a carjacking that would quickly escalate into a murderous incident. The subsequent events are depicted in a bleak light by the police statement, which provides terrifying information. The carjackers threatened the victim's brother Elias Otero with a pistol and money before forcing him to call his brother. The victim would be executed immediately if they did not comply with these requests. The gang was guided to the Otero mansion through this strategic deception, where they would face an encounter that would change their lives. Elias Otero, a 24-year-old ex-correctional officer, came out to face the armed criminals when they arrived at the victim's house. The terrible scenario took a turn for the worst when one of the attackers, Adrian Avila, reportedly shot Elias Otero, killing him too soon. A chilling tragedy befell the Otero family as a consequence of a well-thought-out plot that made use of internet connections. The continuing investigation into this horrific incident has taken a major step forward with the arrest of Annabella Dukes, an open murder accusation and 2 counts of armed robbery, conspiracy, evidence tampering, and kidnapping are now against Dukes. The seriousness and scope of the allegations highlight the significance of her alleged role in setting up the circumstances that resulted in Elias Otero's murder. Not only does this case show the shadow side of internet relationships, but it also makes important points regarding how vulnerable people are in this digital world. An intricate web of deceit was spun around the unknowing victim using social media, and he fell victim to a well-planned scheme that took his life. This incident shows how dangerous even apparently harmless internet connections can be. Before Dukes was arrested, the 17-year-old suspect, who was accused of shooting Elias Otero, Adrian Avila, had already surrendered. The long list of accusations against Avila includes many counts of murder, abduction, armed robbery with a lethal weapon, evidence tampering, and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The town and the Otero family find some measure of relief with the capture of the two perpetrators. But the wounds caused by the irreversible loss will never fully heal. Questions concerning the reasons for such a horrific act arise as the legal process progresses, because the abduction, armed robbery, and murder were all premeditated. We need to find out what motivates people to be violent, the justice. System and society as a whole must comprehend the reasons underlying these acts. The case also highlights the difficulties police encounter when trying to solve crimes with digital origins. Investigators have a distinct set of obstacles in navigating the complex network of internet connections that persons, with malevolent intentions, manipulate. Legislative reforms and increased public knowledge about internet safety are two parts of a comprehensive strategy to overcome these obstacles. The murder of Elias Otero, which was the result of a dark conspiracy conceived through exchanges on social media, should serve as a warning to society. It stresses the need to be watchful and evaluate online connections critically, particularly for younger people who could be more gullible. In addition to being a tragic personal event, the Otero family's loss serves as a sobering reminder of the wider social repercussions of unrestricted internet connections. Beyond the legal ramifications, the community that Elias Otero's murder affected is discussing how society needs to reflect and take precautions. The legal process will take its time, but in the meantime, we must think about the bigger picture and what we can learn from this terrible event. In the wake of her son's murder, Alicia Otero, a mother who is grieving, has become an outspoken supporter of stricter legislation in New Mexico. Her fervent call for life. Sentences for the killers, especially Annabella Dukes, highlights the devastating effect these atrocities have on victims' loved ones. There is a growing movement to change the law in response to the suffering the Otero family endured in the hope of preventing similar tragedies in the future. A controversial subject in the criminal justice system is Alicia Otero's dread of possible release under the state's reform laws. Finding a middle ground between public safety concerns and the necessity for criminal justice reform is no easy task. While changes are well-intentioned, they must take into account the consequences of releasing people accused of terrible crimes in order to solve problems like overcrowding in prisons and pretrial detentions. The suspected shooters and Annabella Duke's arrests have prompted discussions on the factors that encourage and shape the actions of young people who engage in violent crimes. Given that both suspects are in their teens, it's fair to wonder what influences young people to engage in such violent crimes. In order to adopt effective prevention measures and rehabilitation efforts, it is crucial to understand the underlying reasons. The case has become much more complicated after it was revealed that Avila and Dukes were involved in a bigger plot with additional individuals. The fact that the criminal acts were so well coordinated implies a degree of organization beyond that of simple individuals. The continuous pursuit of all parties engaged by law enforcement highlights the need for multi-agency collaboration in fighting organized crime. The case highlights the difficulties and obligations of internet safety due to its association with online interactions and social media. Online platforms provide new possibilities for connection and interaction, but they also pose new dangers. In order to prevent future tragedies, it is crucial to implement initiatives that teach people, particularly younger ones, to be cautious online and to recognize danger signs. The subject of responsibility is rising to the surface as the court processes progress. A cornerstone of fairness is making people pay for what they've done. On the other hand, the case makes one think about the social elements that lead to criminal acts. A comprehensive strategy integrating legislative actions and social programs to eliminate the conditions that give rise to criminal conduct is necessary to address the causes. Finally, the current investigation into the murder and abduction of Elias Otero has reached a turning point with the arrest of Annabella Dukes. The tragic events that escalated from a social media exchange to a violent altercation highlight the complex nature of contemporary crime. As the case moves through the judicial system, it is a sobering reminder of how we are all responsible for creating a safer society in all its forms. To prevent such tragedies in the future, we must use the lessons learned from this tragic occurrence to have serious conversations, think about policies, and launch community-driven projects. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the chilling case of Annabella Dukes. If you found this episode captivating, don't forget to hit the like button, follow, and subscribe to Sear and Suspense for more spine-tingling narratives. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay informed, and remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction.